The bottom fell out of fall
Sure
here.
did.
Yeah, we've been dodging snowstorms and fishing in cold weather. This is Matt Schiefelbein. Matt's one of the young guns on the tournament trail, and I called him up and said, "Hey, Matty, you want to go fishing?" And he said, "Yes, I do." We're up in the Hayward Lakes area. It's a small lake, and this is a pattern that's not going to work on every single lake that you go to. But if you have a deep water lake with a lot of forage, that's deeper forage, this is kind of a special pattern that you might want to check out and look for. We're going to take the people step by step, show you how to find the fish and then how to catch them. It's going to be a swim bait show, which isn't that extraordinary for smallmouths, but it is when you're fishing as deep as we are. I think you're going to enjoy this show. People are used to snowstorms and walleyes, but snowstorms and smallmouths, maybe not quite as prevalent. But I'm telling you,
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, come join us for your next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite, just looking for the next bite. It's the
The smallmouth bass has been gaining in popularity in recent years in the Midwest due to a good increase in fish size and population. Although these fish are being targeted more, there are still a ton of inland lakes with little to no fishing pressure, especially in the fall when the weather gets cold and people are putting their boats away for the winter. A huge plus to smallmouth fishing in cold water is they tend to be in the same areas as walleyes. And as an avid walleye angler, you already know you need to start in deeper water.
I want to show you a really nice tip when it comes to mapping. A lot of the smaller lakes that you fish, when you bring up the map that you have on your cartridge or that's built inside the unit, you'll find when you're actually fishing a piece of structure that it's not as accurate as you'd like to see. So there's a feature on the HDS Live unit that you can use that really, really helps. I go into overlay. When I hit that button, Genesis Live is one of the choices, and I click onto that. When you click onto that, the unit will actually start drawing the map for you. You can see this lighter blue structure right here. That's all mapping that I've drawn by just going back and forth over the structure itself. So what it does is it actually draws the structure out for you in real time. You can customize and build your own maps with this system. It's just super because now you don't have to rely on a map cartridge that you bought where perhaps it's not near as accurate as you wanted. You can build your own, which are highly accurate, and you'll know exactly where you are on that piece of structure.
Oh, there we go.
Man, that one really hit. This is a really good
We'll
fish,
get the net
Matt.
for this one.
Yeah, he feels like a good one. Matty, you were looking right at me when he bid.
This is too much fun.
They are so much fun. This feels like a pretty decent
like a nice fish.
Yeah. You can see why smallmouth bass fishing in the northern part of the country is growing so fast.
Yeah, how can you not love catching
we
those
have
fish?
so many fish up here, Matt. Okay, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
That's a good one there now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
This fish crunched it, too.
Oh, look at that jig all the way down.
You can't eat that. That's a 4-inch bait.
Yeah.
And you can't even see it.
No, what'd you catch that one on?
On a little ripple shad.
Oh,
again, actually, it's not that little. It's 3.5, so it's a big bait.
He's got her all the way down in there, though. No problem.
Look how fat they are. You know, they're eating that pelagic forage.
Yeah.
All that suspended stuff that we were marking on the graph before we came in here. And I'm sure in the evenings and sometimes during the day, those little schools of minnows come up, you know. This is a beautiful fish.
Yes, it
anywhere in the country when you get them this big. All right, we'll let you go, big boy. Yeah, probably Big Mama. There you go, it just sinks right out of sight.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. And Power Pole Total Boat Control. Closed captioning for the next bite is provided by Precision Trolling Data, the authority for crankbait diving depth information. Smallies are also similar to walleyes in the way of your cadence or action of your bait. You have to slow things down because they get lethargic in cold water. But when they do decide to eat, it's often a very hard bite, making it extremely easy to feel while jigging.
I'll tell you, the swim bait bite is just phenomenal in the fall. When they hit, they just about jerk your rod out of your hands.
I was watching it go down, and all of a sudden I just dunked and the line went slack. I was like, yep, there he is.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. The cadence we're using today is we're taking these jigs and casting them as far away from the boat as we can and just letting them free spool down. Once it hits bottom, you'll see your line go loose and get a bow in it. Then you can click your bail over, reel your slack, and then just take 2 or 3 real slow turns and pause. And when you pause, that swim bait is slowly shimmying back down to the bottom. And with those 2 short reels, you're only getting about a foot off the bottom, so it's keeping you in that strike zone where those fish are looking to feed. So that's an easy way to do it. Just reel twice, pause, let the bait stop, and then we're getting a lot of our strikes as it's on the fall, or the second it'll hit the bottom, those fish will just thump it really hard. There's no mistaking it. And we're just using these 3/8 ounce jigs with a ripple shad and casting them as far as we can and doing that cadence, and that way we're getting way more bites than I think we would doing a jerking motion or another thing. It's fall, these fish like it more slow, and this is the way that gets us more bites. Oh.
Did you miss one?
Oh yeah, I just missed one.
Keep doing exactly what you were doing. Because a lot of times these fish will follow.
Oh yeah.
And you just don't know if they're going to come back and hit it again.
Oh, yeah,
He did. I saw the bite.
He hunted it all the way to the boat.
Yeah, it's so cool the way they do that.
Oh my gosh,
yep.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
She hunted it right underneath to the boat.
Yeah, they just kind of beeline. They come right on it. Well, yeah, God, I'm gonna have to be a little quicker with you.
Yeah, here you go.
He jumped right into the net.
Yeah, he did. Another one with it choked all the way down.
Oh yeah, isn't that something? Isn't that
fun.
cool with how they can follow you like that?
Oh yeah.
You know, you missed him and he bit earlier.
He hunted it down all the way to the boat.
Yeah, and I was just telling you that. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I watched the fish bite. Your line just goes dunk like that. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, these things are so much fun.
Oh my
and
gosh,
the swim bait bite is different. You know, a lot of times if you're drop shotting and you're using tubes and stuff, you'll feel they bite harder than walleyes, no doubt about that. But when they crunch that thing as it's swimming down, they just crush them.
He just hammered that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. A good deal.
All right, we'll let him go. There he goes.
Nice.
That was fun.
Total Control, presented by Power Pole. 20 years of trust evolved from Total Boat Control.
When it comes to walleyes, everyone knows that actions can be very important, but a lot of times those actions are often overlooked when it comes to plastics and especially swim baits. And you can change different swim baits and they're going to have different actions, but what you can do is use the same swim bait and change that action. And what I have is one of my favorite plastics here. It's been the Ripple Shad, but I'll take 2 out of the package here. At times they can be a little stiffer you know, out of the package than maybe they can be. But that can be also played in your favor. The stiffer the plastic is, the tighter the action is going to be. Generally, when the water's warmer, you want a tighter action. But what I can do, especially in the springtime when I want to fish this bait a lot slower, and I also want it to have a lot wider action, is I can change that. You can see here these tails, they'll fold over, but they're a little stiff or they'll stand up. But I'll just take one of these here, and all I'm simply going to do is pull on the tail section and basically loosen up all those salts and fish attractants that are in here and break apart that plastic a little bit. I'll pull on it, then I'll just rub it between my fingers really hard. And what that does is you can immediately see this tail just folds all the way over, both ways. And what that's going to do is be able to fish a lot slower than it would be if it's straight out of the package and a little bit stiffer. And it's also going to change the action. It's going to give it a lot wider action, especially at slower speeds. And the rule of thumb is generally when the water's cooler, I'm going to fish slower, wider action baits. And as that water progressively gets warmer, I want faster, tighter action baits. Hope this little tip here helps. It's one of those cool little things that can put a lot more fish in your boat at the end of the day.
A big bonus to fishing deeper water is your electronics can tell you a ton of information. Marking fish becomes easier, and your sonar cone is covering a significant amount of water. But you don't want to just look for fish.
So we're driving around out here in this deep water, and I stopped the screen to show you this. We're noticing a lot of bait in 20 to 40 feet of water, where this time of year you go to your traditional summer spots to go catch fish, but you're noticing deeper bait. That could mean there could be deeper fish. So don't be afraid to try to fish that little bit deeper water this time of year. As long as there's bait around, these fish aren't relating to structure as much as they are relating to food. So if you see deep food, don't be afraid to fish it. Oh, there he is.
Oh, wow.
That one's got it bent over nice.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like a good one, Matt.
Yeah, it is.
He's got you doubled over.
Yeah, he does.
And that rod's pretty stiff, so that's got to be a good fish.
Yeah, it looks like a nice fish.
Oh. Oh, I love it when they jump and they just kind of,
Oh yeah.
you know,
That
they look
wallow.
like they're lard butts trying to jump out of the water. They look like me trying to get out of the out of the
Look at
couch.
the gut on that one.
Man, that is a big one. Holy man, look
Size
at
of
that fish.
one. That is a good fish.
Buddy, this is inland lake. And in a pattern that hardly anyone even knows about.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Isn't that cool stuff?
That is awesome.
Wow, and he
He's
just
got that
smoked it
jig all the
again.
way down his throat.
I tell you, this is so much fun.
Oh my gosh,
you know,
yeah.
Granted, it's a little cold, there's a little snow, but
This warms you right up.
yeah,
though.
I'm telling you, that is so cool. Nice job.
Yeah, that was
Nice
awesome.
job. I want to just go through the tackle and the rod and reel setup for this deep water swim bait fishing. We're starting off with a 3.5-inch Berkeley ripple shad. I like the ripple shad because it's got a nice tight action, but it activates with a slow swim. It's a very nice, probably overlooked for bass swim bait, but it works extremely well. Using a 3/8 ounce jig, I don't want to really let the jig fall super fast, so I'm avoiding 1/2 ounce if possible. I go there if it would be really windy, but it's not too bad today, so 3/8 works well. 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is a trilene fluorocarbon leader. And then the main line that we like to use is Berkeley's Fireline Ultra 8. This is a line that's very smooth. It's very easy to use. You could tell when we're reeling it in, it's not making a lot of noise in the guides. It's got some body, but it's got a superior amount of strength. And then that's coupled with a Johnny Morris Platinum Series Signature reel. And the same thing with the Johnny Morris Platinum Signature Series rod. Medium action, but with a fast tip. I want a rod with a lot of backbone. And so you want to get the hook into them hard and fast, but yet, just like any other fish, they fight hard, so that faster tip really works well, and you don't lose very many fish that way. So overall, that's the setup, kind of going from jig to tail to line, and then to the rod and reel setup. You're going to find that this is the perfect combo, and you should be able to get a lot of fish. It's great for deep water swim bait fishing like this. Oh, I got one, boys. Nice.
That was awesome.
He made the old line just jump.
He did. Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
All you can do is just like giggle and laugh. It's almost like you're doing something wrong.
Oh, this is hard to beat.
This one bit so hard, I watched the line just go boom. It's like, oh, they bite so hard.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It still looks like a nice fish though.
Yeah, it looks like, it feels like it's a good one. It really does. Oh, I saw it. I saw
yep,
it.
there he is.
Cruised, yep. Yeah. Got him.
Another nice fish.
Another really
Oh my
good
gosh,
fish.
yeah.
Oh, Matty, this is so much
This
fun.
is awesome.
I'm glad you decided to come up
Oh,
and fish
me
with
too.
me. This is neat.
That is hard to beat. All these fish are so beautiful too.
I'm telling you, some of the guys on the Next Bite crew, they would all wish they were here
I'm
doing
sure
this
they
today.
do.
Man, he cracked it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
line just jumped when he hit. I was holding the rod and it was swimming back down and it just boom.
It's so much fun.
All right, buddy, we're gonna let you go, Mr. Smallmouth. Here we go. He loves it. He loves it.
The Next Bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Precision Trolling Data. The authority in diving depth info. And Power Pole Total Boat Control. Hot topics, leading information and tackling techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
All kickers are not created equal, and when Mercury a couple of years ago came out with the 15 EFI Pro kicker, I truly think they set the bar for a couple of reasons. First thing, obviously, being an EFI, we fish so much in the cold in the north, and the second thing is basically the handle setup. I think they've really hit it out of the park. You can actually adjust this to be center or to the right or to the left on the kicker motor, so you can move it depending on where you're going to position the kicker on your boat, whether you're going to be on the starboard side or the port side. So very, very easy there. But one of the things that we've heard a lot of is people, in the past, before this 15 EFI, ran a lot of 9.9 kickers. And the beauty is for 2021 here, we have this exact kicker in a 9.9 EFI model now too. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is why I still like to run a tiller handle in kicker situations. And it's really pretty simple. I like the ability, if I'm trolling sharp brake lines, to make a turn this fast or this fast. And I like to have the ability to run the throttle within my hand. I'll use an extension handle a lot of times and I'll troll around that way. But what you can do with this setup here is actually turn it into a great open water scenario too, where you don't have to use the tiller handle. And what I've done is added a Powertran tail fin setup to it. And there's basically just a quick disconnect bar right here. We're all hooked up. And then what I can do is, instead of using the tiller handle, now it can't turn, you actually can stand anywhere in the boat and turn this kicker with a key fob. Very, very good for open water trolling. But when I look at kickers in general, there is not a kicker that is more versatile than these pro kickers, especially now that you can get this EFI Pro kicker in a 9.9. So pay attention to what you're doing. If you want to have that ability to run a tiller, you can put something on it too to run it with a remote and get the best of both worlds out of any of the Mercury Pro kickers available now.
Late in the fall, using your electronics in deeper water and slowing things down are the two major factors to help you find and catch more fish when fishing the northern Wisconsin inland lakes for smallmouth bass.
I felt him. I think he was bumping it on the way.
He must have been
Honestly, I
chasing
felt
it
something
down.
like Yeah, he nosed it twice. They like to come up and bump it sometimes
Yeah.
when they're following, like
Yeah.
I talked about. And the last time he just
Cracked
popped
it.
it. Yeah. This is a really good
Yeah,
fish.
this looks like a nice fish.
Yeah, it feels really good. None of the others had pulled dragged on the
No.
hooks. Of course, I was pretty zealous. Oh, wow. Here he comes, Matt. Nice. Oh, you got him, buddy.
Look at that fish. He's got that jig all the way swallowed
He
down.
does. But in the roof of the mouth, you
Yeah.
know. Look how long that fish is, man.
Oh my gosh.
These are the fish that the guys all go brave, you know, giant waves in the Great Lakes for.
And
But
here we
but
are.
we're inland, and it doesn't matter if it blows 30
No.
miles an hour.
Look at that fish.
That thing is a beast. You know, he had it down, but only barely through the
It just popped right off.
Yeah. Wow. That's a nice one.
Those are awesome fish.
Cool stuff. All right. We will let him go too. Okay, buddy. There he goes. Paddle, paddle, paddle. Of tackle and rod and reel and line types. First of all, I'm using a 3.5 inch Berkeley. How's he feel, man?
This one feels really weird. It's really small. Oh, it's a crappie.
Look at the size of that thing.
That's a really nice crappie. Oh my gosh.
Wow. It's enormous.
That's huge. He's right down there with all the bass too. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. How cool is that? What a big fish. I said if you're getting a lot of action, a lot of times it's a good idea to use super glue when you put the tail on. They can't pull it down on you. And especially with softer baits, for sure. These ripple shads are pretty hard, so they stay pretty good. But some of the other baits, like if you were using a hollow belly or something along those lines, they're softer, and anchoring them to the jig with you know, liquid cement or the super glue stuff is a really desirable thing. Just don't have to always tend your baits, you know.